Just when you're ready, brother.
What is the music thing cut?
All right, family, welcome to our corner. We're continuing the topic of the dynamics between black men and black women. Naturally, us black women, right?
I saw you look.
This guy, this guy. Yeah? We should. Be merciful to this guy. It's good for you that we're laughing at. Don't worry.
No, man. I was like, boy, listen, you missed the whole thing.
So the dynamics, you man.
Sunday walk.
Yeah, you man, that man still. The dynamics between black men and black women, right? So, is there a speaking difference between the two? We're also going to cover who's picking who, and has Manosphere talking points and campaign contributed, pushed away black men and black women, right? So we're going to start there. Anyone want to start? Anyone want to jump in, or do I just have to carry on waffling?
You carry on.
Okay, so the thing is, last week we were talking, and we were trying to find out, the question was, should black men improve in economics and learning and getting a trade, yeah, and being successful? Or should black women expect their men to be less successful, right? I think the consensus was black men should try to achieve more, but they were saying in the meantime, there's going to be rule sets that you go by, that you might have to practice polygyny, I think one was, and you have to maybe accept certain silver medals or something like this, right? So
Who has to accept silver medals?
the women have to accept that they're not getting a gold medal, they're getting a silver medal, right? Because he's yet to achieve that goal. But then we also moved into talking space and ages, and I think brother was saying about some of the Manosphere talking points about women's ages. I didn't push back and saying, is there a way we can put that in a more constructive way? But I understand clickbait works these days. But I'm saying, when we are trying to unite black men and women, I think we should be very, they should have a bit of strategy of how we want to deliver stuff. So we can go, is the black Manosphere talking points beneficial to black men?
I don't mind starting because I wasn't here a couple weeks ago. But I feel like, first and foremost, the black Manosphere talking points are, in my humble estimation, dysfunctional and destructive. Yeah, but they're not dysfunctional and destructive in a vacuum.
Right.
They don't exist in a vacuum in a lane all by themselves. I also think the feminist talking points are dysfunctional and destructive. Yeah. And so the problem is that we have these polarities that are designed to be antagonistic, and we're trying to have a conversation from these antagonistic polarities. The Manosphere talking points and the feminist talking points are not designed to generate complementarity among black men and women. And because of that, we're having generations that are being raised to have this combative mentality in relationship to relationships. Yeah, and so that is being channeled into adulthood. I can recall being on the playground, and the number one tune was "Can you pay my bills?" Yeah, and you know, I don't want no scrub, among teenagers who have no experience, yeah, with the life that is being spoken about in these songs, but yet it's shaping our attitude towards relationship. Yeah, similar to bitches ain't shit. And you know what I'm saying, and that kind of mentality, right? Is shaping our attitude towards relationships. What about for my man though?
You got water coming out your eyes.
Oh no, yeah, it's just my eyes water when
When he's saying the truth, his eyes water, isn't it?
Yeah. We're crying for the youth, then. We're crying for the youth. Yeah, you know.
Cry for the youth there.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, just when the breeze was, my eyes water sometimes. But what was I saying? What was I up to? Yeah, so I think we have to look at it holistically. Having said that, as a black man, I pay particular attention to pronouncements of black men, and in spaces whereby we're discussing black women. And yeah, I think that a lot of what is put forward from the black manosphere is fundamentally destructive and degrading to not just black women, but us as black men. And we need to check it and come with some more functional reasoning in relation to solving these issues.
I'm just going to put a pause on that, right? Two things happened just now, right? A black brother and sister walk by.
Yeah, man.
And we should always give respect when we see that, because we see it very
100%.
rarely here sometimes. And also, brother, I recognize that the sister and him share a melanin arrangement of vitiligo.
Trying to break that relationship.
I can relate, my sister.
So big up black families, big up black couples. We promote that here at our corner. There you go, big up, brother. Yeah.
Big up,
Now,
love.
does anyone want to add to what the brother said? Because he's saying that this kind of narrative might not work in black men or black people's best interest. Is there anyone who disagrees?
You know what? Yeah, you have to tell me what's the black manosphere, who represents the black manosphere,
Yeah.
and give me some talking points of the black manosphere.
Okay, so the way you see it is that these things spread by organic and they hit by osmosis at times, right? But we're aware that within the white community, there was the kind of red pill, incel, and of those many different groups that they were grouped together because philosophies were correlating, right? And I can't remember names because I'm a bad person. But I think some of the black men realized that they like the philosophies, but like with many things when black people unite with non-black people, they found themselves being ignored right at the bottom. So they did what naturally comes, and they formed the black manosphere, right? Now the black manosphere, they say that the brother who unfortunately passed, Kevin Samuels, whether directly or indirectly, he was seen as a prominent figure in it, right? And there are good points that brother raised and some points that might be very problematic. And I'm sure we can highlight those, right? But the philosophy of him dying, a void happened where you noticed that there was a European woman called
Just Pearly.
Just Pearly things, yeah, that's her name. And then she became the leader of the black men, indirect without us knowing.
Oh my
the black manosphere, yeah.
No.
hell yeah.
I'm letting you know.
Black
Oh, hell
men.
yeah.
The black manosphere.
So you're telling
yeah.
me that black men allowed a white woman to be the leader of them?
100,
Damn.
no, the black manosphere.
Okay.
110% with a 10% error margin, yes.
Jeez.
Now,
Okay.
and that's why whenever the racism that the woman was projecting came out, you had a split. You had the people who knew better go, hold on, let us turn our tune, and there were those who were too far in it goes, let's defend her. And that's why stage by stage, all those black brothers had to drop away because there's nothing wrong.
So in the UK, we're saying that Sarah Garvey,
Right.
God damn.
King Riches,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
are part of the black manosphere.
They were.
Who else is part of the black manosphere in the UK?
In the UK,
Yeah.
I would say they're the prominent ones that we saw.
Okay.
In recent times, there were some brothers from back in the day, before there was a term Manosphere,
Yeah.
that were like the proto-Manosphere.
Yeah.
But I think that Raven's chronology is correct, and there are brothers and sisters from the States who were pioneers in this thing when they were with the white men, who attest to what you just said from
Yeah.
inside.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing about that is that is a similar thing. Is the relationship between us and the feminist movement? It's white women trying to address their issues with men, and black women in proximity, but then having to start, a similar, separate kind of vibration, right? Do you know what I'm saying? For the sake of the fact that it wasn't catering for and there are points that they make that are justifiably significant and should be taken into consideration. However, the entire reasoning tends to have a destructive impact or dysfunctional impact upon our community.
So what's the problematic things that the black manosphere espouse?
Well, I would argue one of them is this idea about the age thing, that I heard was being discussed. And not to say that there are not kernels of truth or relevance within that analysis, but I think that when it becomes a thing that is used,
Like a framework.
to define the worth of women holistically, we're not we are commodifying women, relationships in general, and I think that's understandable because we live in a capitalist society whereby everything is commodified. And so when we talk about what's the term that's used?
I think we was using the term the wall. And
The what, sorry?
Hit the wall.
Hit the wall.
Okay, right.
And I know, like, for me,
Yeah.
when I heard these terms, I think it was from Rollo Tomasi.
Yeah. He's the main guy.
Yeah,
He's
so
the main
he's the
white guy.
godfather.
Yeah.
I don't.
He's the one
Yeah,
the black
but-
men
okay.
idolize.
Okay, so I've got a couple of his books.
Hit the wall,
so I can
yeah.
understand what's going on in like that whole community itself. I never knew that there was a black one and a white one. I just thought it was
Oh,
just
yeah,
a
yeah,
manosphere full stop.
Oh, no, sir.
Okay, so what is your contention with the wall? Like, what's wrong with that?
So let me jump in, right? Everything, two things can be true at once, right? So for example, you can have a son, there we go, you can have a son, right, who's in a wheelchair. So he's never gonna play in the NBA, yeah? How you deliver that to him is one thing, but also letting him know that there is a place for where they play basketball in the wheelchair, the whatever it's called, right? That's what I'm saying, it's like how we deliver it. If we're trying to build a community and we're saying, woman, you're useless because you've got this many kids and you're this age, it's how you deliver it. You could be a person, look, I want to have a big family, I haven't got any kids at the moment, so I might need a woman who can have 8 kids, so you need to be a certain age. You can express that in a way that's constructive rather than your yesterday's
So
news.
basically, tell the truth in a sensitive manner.
No.
That's what I'm saying,
beyond,
man.
But yes, yeah, no, sorry.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with being sensitive in terms of how we relate things, right? At the same time, I think the language that we use is extremely important, and it gives expression to not just sensitivity,
Yes.
but how we view phenomena.
Yes.
Right? So the language that I've often heard in relation to things like this is women depreciate in value
Yes.
after a certain age,
Yes.
and men appreciate in value. So men's value continues to appreciate, women's value continues to depreciate, right? And there are certain indicators that are given to substantiate that. And I think the language is dysfunctional, yeah, because of what we are placing the value on. All right. So when we talk about depreciating women's value, and we connect it to child rearing ages, it suggests that every man who gets into a relationship wants to or should be focused on having children. Many men have children, yeah. By the time they get to 35, 40, and so on and so forth,
Very true.
Their relationship may not have worked, yeah, for whatever reason, right? But the idea that a man in his 60s should still be pursuing a child rearing woman because women depreciate in value as they get older, it seems to be a dysfunctional way of looking at things. At the same time, women's value, we can speak to the truth of natural biology without making a value judgment on women holistically, right? So a woman's value can appreciate in age if we put her value on, for example, her capacity to exist in community, to be part of institutions where child rearing is taking place, but she's not necessarily the biological mother of the children, if that makes sense, right? A woman who has that experience as a mother, her value appreciates in a community that values that experience and has a context through which to employ, yes, using the similar language, that experience, right? But we, in a capitalist mentality, are giving value judgments to women based upon what they produce, and men based purely upon what we produce. Doesn't mean that what we produce is not important, but what we are looking at in terms of production, are those the only indicators that we should be looking at?
But I agree with our brother Kalam, because I agree with him in the sense of if the same statement can be used as motivational, a motivational statement, meaning telling perhaps young people to get into marriages and having children early on. Maybe frame it in that way.
Framing, you're talking about framing, right?
Yeah, framing, as opposed to say, well, this is where your value is.
Yeah.
Maybe frame it as in like, you're young, you're beautiful,
Do you see a value in doing that for the black community?
Encouraging young relationships.
100%. But I just want to say that my brother is conflating two things there, yeah?
Okay, go ahead.
So, in terms of let me go into Rollo Tomasi, because I like going to books. My mind goes straight to what can I get out of this? Yeah.
Wow.
What can be objectively?
And let me say, full disclosure, I have not read the brother.
Yeah.
So I won't claim to know what he's saying. But
Okay.
yeah.
Do you know anything to do with evolutionary psychology?
Yeah,
David Buss as well is another big man.
I know a thing or two.
Them two are kind of like the same thing. Right?
Yeah.
Evolutionary psychology and Manosphere talking points are basically around the same thing, right?
Okay.
So there is the sexual marketplace value,
Yes.
right? That's one thing. There's another thing which I have coined, my own self.
There we go.
Yes, a relationship value, relationship marketplace value. So what you were talking about, like a woman, what else can she offer basically? That's her relationship value, right?
I'm going to burst your bubble in a second, but go
No
on.
problem.
Go.
But what the Manosphere is talking about is the sexual marketplace value. And in sexual marketplace, it's a heterosexual man and a heterosexual woman coming together for the purpose of sex and for the purpose of reproduction. Yeah, women, their reproductive and their fertility values decreases, rightly so, in age, right? A man's productive value, this is how your worth is based in the sexual marketplace, not in a holistic, who you are as a person. We're just talking about this particular area of sexual marketplace. A man's value is based upon his ability to be productive. That's one of his skills, right?
Sexually or socially?
Sexually, but it's also linked socially, because as men, we're social striving creatures, right? We're trying to elevate socially, right? And women are hypergamous creatures, meaning they want to date or marry or have sex with somebody who is socially and economically above themselves, or at least on the same level as themselves. So as men, our value comes from being productive, right? And some of the talking points, like Andrew Tate talks about the brokey, and I'm like, shit, I'm a brokey right now, yeah? Let me get my money up. Why don't I have a Bugatti? So for men, yeah, them talking points is motivational to me. But to tell a woman certain talking points in the manosphere, I would say is like, women don't work on that. We work on cold, hard facts, yeah? We want to hear the brutal truth. You're a pussy, you're weak, get into the gym, do better, get your money up.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
Okay, I don't know about every man, but for me personally, yeah, I'm a Leo. So them type of talks there, yeah, it's like, that's motivational talks for me. For a woman, you can't tell them brutal, hard, cold, emotionless facts to a woman. You gotta say to a woman like, oh, baby girl, like, you know what? Right now, you may just need to go to the gym and get that donkey a little bit thicker for the man there. I don't know, you might have to talk somehow, I don't know.
The reason why, sorry, go on.
If that's the case, why can't you do it?
Why can't you do what?
So if you're saying that men and women are different, and I think we agree they're different, right?
Yeah.
Point taken.
Yeah.
Point
Why
taken.
can't we just, if women need that way of delivery, if you need you're ugly, get pretty,
Yeah.
for you as a man.
Yep.
If we need to go, baby girl,
Yeah,
you are the
baby.
world,
Yeah.
and you make my thing 12 do this.
Yes.
Why can't we just do that if that's the solution?
Well, I would say that is what you should do.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
so
all
we've actually hit a conclusion
So we
there.
resolved
We've actually resolved it.
right?
Done.
So we should speak with sensitivity.
Sensitivity to women.
sensitivity to the woman then.
Yeah.
Although I'm not sure that's the.
Huh?
You shouldn't say that woman ate like bread.
I wouldn't say
Oh, it's milk. It's not
Like
bread.
milk.
It's
It's
milk.
milk.
They say it's milk. No, they say milk.
I wouldn't say it to
The
a woman.
reality is this.
It's just like the way you don't ask
That's
the
what they
age.
say.
You don't ask a woman her age or all these things, yeah, because these are sensitive things. But for men, like we talk trash to the man them.
Yeah, but
Because we know that's what motivates us. I don't know for every man, but I know that's what motivates me.
The reason why I challenged that statement is because, in my humble opinion, if that was true, then we wouldn't get so in our feelings when we hear feminists talk.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a thing.
What they
If
say?
it was a matter of, yeah, we don't mind being spoken to harsh, because there are some things that they
People who
say.
can defeat us physically.
Huh?
Like people who can
You
defeat
can
us
defeat us physically. All right. So we only want to hear it when it's a man that can top us down. But I'm saying, because there are things that we could, just like we can accept, even though I'm saying that generally speaking, I find Manosphere talk about dysfunctional, there are things in it that are manifestly true.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
There are things in feminist discourse that are manifestly true.
Yeah.
And that man they might say, well, yeah, you know, when we ban feminism, we're not saying, well, you know what, nothing of it they're saying are true, you know, fam. We're banning it, yeah? And we don't like how we're being spoken to. We don't like being belittled as men by a lot of the talking points and so on and so forth. So I don't.
Because I know certain things, right?
Yeah.
But feminism, I haven't read any books per se on feminism.
Right.
So
I'm talking about in discourse now. Though.
What is the feminism discourse that are problematic to men?
Okay, for example, you're talking about brokies, yeah? The idea of the no good broke black man is one of the things that come out of is popular within the
They say
independent
dusties.
independent
Dusties
woman
or picnic.
black feminist type talking point, right?
See,
or caricature that black men are very offended by.
I don't
right?
even mind that, because that's motivation.
But
to
I'm
me.
saying, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm saying that a lot of black men are very offended
Okay.
by that caricature.
Okay.
So I'm saying, if to say as men, we don't mind being spoken to harshly, I don't know if that's the case. I think it depends. Right?
Okay.
Right?
You're carrying on.
But I want to say this.
I don't have a Bugatti.
Why I said I was going to burst your bubble.
Yeah.
Is because I have used the term relationship marketplace before,
Yeah.
right? So I'm not taking
Copyright.
it from
Yeah.
Copyright.
right? But the reason why I used it is because I was challenging the idea of sexual marketplace.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, well, why is there a sexual marketplace but not a relationship marketplace? But again, look at the terminology that we're using. We're using terms like marketplace, right? Again, because we live in a capitalist construct, so we're commodifying everything. And I'm saying that, look, a lot of the talking points that we have and the way that we engage, they're very good if we're trying to date, but not necessarily functional if we're trying to develop relationships. Yeah. So I'm saying it is a fact. Again, we can affirm biology that for a certain the prime years for a woman to produce a child is these amount of years. To the extent that is biologically true, there is nothing wrong with asserting that, and many women don't have a problem with that. It's the idea that that the idea of sexual marketplace predominates the conversation. And so the idea of what does a woman who's over 35 have to offer a man becomes a general talking point. And a woman who's over 35 may have many things to offer a man beyond having that may not be having a child. But why does every man who will be interested in a woman over 35 need to be focused on having a child? Yeah, that is a significant question to me that nobody's ever been answered to me.
That's your biological imperative.
Always, at every stage of life, is every man biological imperative at every stage of their life to have a child,
Yeah.
to be pursuing having children.
Yeah.
Did not Roma Tomasi recently got into a beef with Sneeko because he made the argument that what makes you a high value man is, he said young men shouldn't have children. In fact, they should delay having children, having a what's that?
Vasectomy.
Yeah. And he got drilled for that.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
was this big debate.
Could I ask a question? Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take away from your point. I'm in a committed relationship, right? Okay. Like, unless, you know what I'm saying, the ancestors bless everything, yeah, that's going on at the moment. Like, the polygamy is not in my future right now, yeah? Okay?
Inshallah!
Right, we'll see, right? Things may change, yeah? But let's say I'm in this relationship for whatever reason, for whatever. The woman I'm having children with is the woman I've had children with. That's it.
That's it. That's cool.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And I'm sure for most of us who are in committed relationships, yeah, again, and like that's going to be the reality of our life.
Yeah.
We're not going to be taking on new wives forever and ever. Amen ra. Okay. So there comes a point at which producing children stops
Yeah.
for men. Yeah.
Yeah.
There comes a point at which that's the case.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's one thing. The second thing is that if there is a relationship market value, the question then for me becomes, why does that not take up a more significant amount of the conversation? Because it seems to me that a woman's value holistically is being judged by her sexual market value, which is being tied to her reproductive years exclusively. Yeah. So sexual market value for a woman is reproductive years. Sexual marketplace for a man, value for a man is reproductive years, but apparently men's reproductive years is infinite as far as the lifespan is concerned. Right. So we've created a construct in which we can define a woman's value by a certain indicator.
But it's not created, it's just something that's natural.
No.
By nature.
Biology is natural.
Yeah.
The social constructs around it are not necessarily.
Okay.
Right? So the idea that a woman has a biological clock is a natural phenomenon. And you can create a social context around that doesn't speak about depreciating woman's value, but can acknowledge that a woman's reproductive years are just and so forth. But then a woman's look, there are many cultures in the world in which eldership is lauded because elders contribute to communities. It would be ridiculous to go to them and say to them that a woman who's an elder lacks value. Right? Or to even apply sexual market value to a woman over 35 because her value lies in other things. Right? So I'm saying that conversation doesn't seem to take place within these environments. Yeah?
Would you not say that has perhaps to do with the idea that in a way people in the West have there has been a problem in terms of pairing, like people finding each other and these dating
And maintaining
apps.
relationships, yeah.
So
So
it's,
a lot of
it's
people-
at the backdrop of that.
So a lot of people over 35 are single and looking for
I think
looking
that's
for
where
love.
he was coming from as well. The idea that it's big.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
But we talk about sexual marketplace value. Yeah, we could say, and this would be reasonable, that men who are in a certain position over 35, a bit more established, have the greater wherewithal to take on children that are not biologically our own. Right?
Yeah.
That would be logical, right? But within the same reasoning, men are being discouraged from entering into those kinds of relationships.
Why would you?
But this is the point I tried to make. But you've already.
I'm saying, okay, let me say,
Yeah.
if I don't have a child already,
Yeah.
why would I want to take on other people's
You put a
children?
condition of what I've said, right?
Okay, go on.
Yeah.
Go on.
But because I wasn't putting the condition on
Yeah.
of not had children.
Okay, so if you have an abundance already,
Yep.
yeah, then, how can I put it? What's the word when you take an orphan? Adopt an orphan.
Yep.
Or adopt other people's children because you have plenty, you have abundance.
Yep.
Then there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with
but
it.
in the first place, if I am over 35 and I have an abundance of resources, my first thought is not, let me take on somebody else's child. I want to leave a legacy for my own. I want to reproduce. I want my ego side says I want a mini-me to continue my legacy.
But do you understand that that's also a part of the social construct that we created around it? Because what I'm saying is that what I've said is not necessarily any more or less valuable than what you've said. It just depends upon the argument is being defined around what responsibilities you want to take on as men. So it can be suggested, even a man who hasn't got children yet, all right, that women who are 35 and have children, but because of your productive value, not in the sense of having had children, but in the sense of being established, having a stable income, and so it makes you more viable, especially if we're talking about it from a community level in terms of relationships between black men and women, to take on those kinds of relationships than men who are in their 20s, right? Or, you know what I'm saying, for example, right? And them kind of things there, You are more in a position to engage in certain kinds of relationship because you have greater financial stability, you're more established, you should be more emotionally mature, etc., etc., etc. But those conversations, I'm not even arguing that this should be the thing. I'm saying that it's a logical argument that is not being made because the idea is that of this idea of my children and biological connection and so on and so forth, right? And so that same argument also devalues women who have children and are not in relationships and so on and so forth. Why? It doesn't do the same for men. Why? Because men maintain their sexual marketplace value, even if they've got children. Even if they don't. Why? Because we don't have to carry the child. The carrying of children doesn't affect our bodies in the same way that it affects a woman. So again, like attractiveness comes into it, and I don't know, boy, I've seen many women with children that look good, and are here, you know what I'm saying, right? So I don't see but it has to do with our mentality that we have constructed around the thing. There's no natural law in a lot of the constructs that we put around these natural phenomena.
I think there is a natural law, you know.
See the lions, fam, when they move in, and they put the aim there, so
There you go.
Are we lions?
We're animals.
Or are we apes?
We're animals.
Yeah, but are we lions or are we apes? Because look, there are many animals whereby males go in and take care of other animals, other male children. Yeah?
The primates do that.
Apes, primates are communal creatures. Yeah?
I don't think I don't know out of all of them, but as far as I know in terms of the research, the alphas or the leaders or the higher ranking ones, they don't tend to do that.
But even the concept of alpha is a man-made construct studying the animal kingdom. That the alpha male in the animal kingdom concept is not ubiquitous. 1, 2, and even where it exists, it's overplayed. Like everybody talks about lions, we want to liken ourselves to lions for some reason. I don't know what it is, and that's good. Lions are beautiful creatures, but male lions take care of everybody's children. They protect. They don't protect just their own. They protect, if there's a pride, so to speak, they're protecting everyone's children.
Right.
The female lions, when they're going to get food, they're not going to get food just for their own. They're getting food, just what I'm saying.
Okay.
So
I want to ask,
If a new male lion comes in and kills if a new male lion comes in and take out the one that's already there, what from the documentaries I seen, he goes and yams all of the cubs or runs all the other ones,
I've seen these
and they
things.
go and breed up all of the together.
I've seen these things.
Apparently they won't breed until they ain't got no use to look after again.
Yeah.
So
I've seen these the documentaries and the kind of things there. All I'm saying is that there are indicators within the animal kingdom that we don't use. We use ones like when the male lion go kill off the people them cub. But we don't. Why do we look at ants? Why we're not using ants as our indicator in nature for how we should behave as human beings? Then why are we only using lions and animals that kill off other animal picnic? I don't understand.
I just think it's just natural, for just people in general, You want something that's fresh, that's new, that is completely yours as a man. Tell me if I'm wrong. I don't know.
I don't know what fresh and new means, innit? What I know is that I'm a man in my late 30s, and if I'm gonna get involved with a woman right now, 9 times out of 10, she's gonna have been with another man in her life.
That's no problem. I'm talking
Right.
about, would you?
So I don't know what fresh and new
Would you
means.
preferably want her with children, and would you preferably want her with a high body count?
I don't think that preference is an issue. I think that it's legitimate for a man to say, for whatever reason, I don't want to get involved with a woman who has children. Where the issue comes in for me is that when your preference becomes a value judgment on the woman. Right. So I'm saying that it's possible to have your preference for whatever reason without making it a thing about depreciating and appreciating value.
Yeah.
And the thing is, to make that to put that argument on the other side of it. No, men don't say, well, do you know what? I can't get with a woman with children because I don't have the value to give to that woman. Right? That's the argument that we make.
I think men men make that argument internally in terms of women. They look at themselves from a productive standpoint. Do I have enough money to get this bad B? If I don't have enough money to get this bad B, yeah, I'm gonna leave this bad B alone. I think men
it's what you said, though.
do that.
Bad B is different. So again, bad B is a sexual market value term, right? So we're talking about the woman's aesthetic and whether my financial stability or my aesthetic matches up to her aesthetic. I'm talking about value on the level of if a woman has children and I've decided I'm not going to get involved with her, we put it on the woman's value rather than men are not having reason by saying, you know what? I would love to get involved with her, you know, but she's got a child and I don't have the financial stability. I lack the value.
Yeah, I think men have that internal dialogue as well. They may not vocalize it, but they have.
Which is a good point. Which is an interesting point because what's vocalized is the depreciating value of woman, right? And I'm saying now it might be balanced. The conversation might be more balanced and fair and functional if we did vocalize it, right? And said, you know what, men who lack appreciable value to deal with women who have children, maybe we shouldn't, you know what I'm saying? Now, there are many cultures in the world, you know, where a woman with children is an asset. Look, you know why? In agricultural societies, children are an asset, they're not a liability. Why? Because if you're working land, the more bodies, the more hands you have to work the land, means that you've got more wealth, generally speaking, in your family.
But in this society, children are not an asset.
So it's a good point, right?
Yeah.
Which suggests that it's not a natural phenomenon we're talking about. It's an economic one. So this is a relatively recent thing that we have applied and then tried to make a value judgment on women based upon a capitalist society and the dictates of a capitalist society. All I'm saying is, should this be the exclusive lens by which we view our each other as men and women and our relationships? And we're only having this conversation because we're men. Like if we were talking to women, there are many indicators on the women's side of things that we'd be able to criticize as well. Yeah, especially because of cost of living crisis. Generally speaking, as black men, you know, we have less disposable income within the society, so on and so forth, right? So if we're trying to, we have to take these things into consideration. My only point is that there are social things that we're putting around these things, social things that are related to natural phenomena, but what we're putting around is not necessarily natural. It's a social construct and a dysfunctional one that doesn't allow us to solve the problems that we say we're trying to solve.
Okay.
If it was, I wouldn't have a problem with it.
I would say that what I'm reading from what you're saying is the people with the loudest voices in the manosphere, they themselves are dysfunctional, and they're having dysfunctional discourses using pseudoscience in a sense, because they may be using something that's actual factual, right? But because of their own dysfunction, they're using it to degrade and put down women in a conversation. Because for me, the things of like hitting the war age, etc., sexual reproductive value, these are factual things, right?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't talk to a woman, and try to degrade her because of those factual things. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that men also may not be honest about themselves to say their own sexual marketplace value isn't high enough to do the things that they themselves want to do. Because...
Question, what are the indicators of a man's sexual marketplace value?
What are the indicators?
Yeah.
So one of the key indicators is his productive value, his ability to be productive. But there is like 6 different things, right? David Busk lists them out, right? What are women's preferences? What do women find attractive, right? And these are the things that they go for. So let me see if I can remember now. So they first of all, they look for a provider, a protector, somebody who has paternalness about them, somebody who's a progenitor who has good genes, right? However that looks, that could be...
what does that mean? I don't know what that means.
So good genes to a person could be like the symmetry in their face.
Good looking, basically.
Yeah, physically aesthetics, the V-shaped taper, they may be of a particular height, etc., right? And then there are things to do with commitment. Are they able to commit? And the last one begins with a C as well, which is...
Cocky.
Commitment, and
that too, you know?
the 6th one,
this guy,
maybe like their ability to to relate with them. Can we actually be partners, team members?
Okay.
Yeah.
What are the sexual marketplace indicators for a woman?
Sexual marketplace indicators of women, there's a lot. So again, it's to do with the aesthetics.
Yeah.
First of all, it starts off with their reproductive value,
Yeah.
their fertility value as well.
Yeah.
Then it goes into what else do they find as preferences. So we're looking about waist to hip ratio,
Yeah.
symmetry as well. They're looking to make sure that the person is healthy
Yeah.
in appearance.
Yeah.
There's quite a few, but men are very like fickle where they just look at the aesthetics more than anything else. Yeah.
But I was gonna identify the fact that even in what you said, all but one of the indicators that you relate for a man don't relate to anything physical. Yeah. Whereas it seems that the majority of the indicators that relate to a woman relates to things physical.
No, they do.
Right.
Because when you're talking about provision and protection, they're looking for a man who is built in a way that they can fight off anybody else. So there is the physical element to it as well.
So yeah, that's what I was saying. So I think. Well, okay. So let's say one and a half then.
And they're looking for the genes as well. They're looking for good genes to pass on.
That's the one I was saying is physical,
Yeah.
right? So I guess you can say protection is
we
physical.
we all look,
Can I ask a
at
question?
the physical.
No,
We all
I
look
know.
at the physical.
So for example, height would be we all look at the physical.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that it seems that the sexual marketplace indicators for men take into consideration a lot more than physical. Yeah, in balance to the women which the majority of it seems to be
because
physical.
women want to look for things that will, for example, they want security because they know themselves that they're going to have 9 months of carrying this child, right?
100.
So can this man provide for me and protect me during this period of time?
Yep.
Will he be able to commit to me and give me his resources after the child is born, etc.?
Commitment's an interesting one.
Yeah.
In the sense of, again, it's not one of those things I see flagged up like the idea.
Sorry.
Go on.
Men as well look for loyalty in a woman.
Right.
And what else it is? It's like, not being a prude. What is it exactly? Like
Prude.
Being chaste.
All right.
They don't want a woman who is.
So that's for the
loose.
pum pum, basically.
Yeah.
All right. So does commitment from on the woman's side look like men not sleeping around?
No.
In terms of what they want from so if women are looking for commitment, does that commitment include chastity
It can.
on a man thing?
It can include that.
Right.
In terms of like not giving out your resources to other women. So it can include that, but not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Because if a man was like a billionaire, right?
Yeah.
No woman is caring. No, let me not say no women.
Yeah.
But in general, in society, women are not caring for that. Like usually, as human beings, we're not actually monogamous. From our whole evolutionary period, we're not actually monogamous.
Including women?
Including women, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we're like polygynous and
Right.
even promiscuous as well.
But knowing that chastity is still an expectation
Expected
of a
for
woman,
a woman,
right?
yeah.
And which is interesting, yeah.
Because the man wants, because the only way that a man can, ascertain paternity,
Yeah.
is by knowing that his woman has not slept with another man, or is not sleeping around with another man itself. So her chastity is definitely needed.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, there was no such thing as DNA testing or pregnancy tests.
Yeah.
You don't know. If I'm the only one who's beating it, then the baby has to be mine.
100%.
So chastity was very important back in the day.
So again, it's not like I'm fighting down absolutely these indicators and what they mean. I think productivity on the part of men is important, although I think that our productivity lies in things beyond our earning capacity. And this is what, and we've gone down a certain road, but I was going to come back to the beginning of the conversation and talk about success, and what success looks like, and whether we need to even change our ideal of success, and what that means, because our ideal of success will define the indicators that we use, for what we're looking for.
Are we talking holistically or are we talking sexual market?
I'm talking. Well, I don't think.
There's two different things right there.
If the sexual marketplace doesn't factor into the holistic conversation, then it's dysfunctional. So if my sexual marketplace conversation has a detrimental impact upon how I'm able to see relationships beyond this particular indicator, then we're not dealing with functionality. Because relationships require more than a sexual marketplace compatibility. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm in a relationship, you're in a relationship. We like when we're in relationship, like the actual, I don't know, the more I'm in a relationship,
my sexual marketplace decreases. Because you know what, yeah, I realize women are smart, you know. They're smart, yeah. Before I'm in a relationship, yeah, man's got like 6-pack, muscles are popping, I'm looking good, money is up.
Yeah,
as soon as I get into a relationship, yeah, you get the
they start
pounded
feeding you.
yam,
Yeah,
you get all the foods, yeah. And they tell you, no, don't go gym, man. No, don't go out there, man. Just stay home and we'll watch something on TV, we'll relax. Let's go on holiday. Let's enjoy life.
It's
Come
all
on,
good. Yeah, and
enjoy.
they say women
and then
are smart.
slowly but surely, you just put on the pounds and they know what they're doing, yeah?
I've experienced
They know
it.
what they're doing, giving you the uncle rolls in the back of your neck.
I've experienced
the
it.
Buddha belly, everything, man. It's
Although
not good.
there are some men that say that when their relationship is when the woman start running them down even more.
Boy,
But that's another
true,
conversation
that's
for
true
another
too.
time.
That's
yeah,
true
that's
too.
another conversation for another time.
pick, right?
And
That's why I put my hijab on, yeah?
you know what I'm
So
saying? For the
no
record,
woman can't see me,
I was
you know?
gonna say, for the record, that was not a confession. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, you know, right? At the same time, where's that guy with that? Where's that guy with that? Yeah, when you're in a relationship, a lot of this popular conversation stuff doesn't matter.
It doesn't, yeah.
Right? It's irrelevant.
It's irrelevant.
So a lot of it is not conducive to actually function in a relationship.
Because you know what, yeah, the focus actually shifts away from the sexual marketplace because you're no longer in the sexual marketplace.
Right.
You're no longer dating to attract a suitor. You're in a relationship, so now you're working on the things, your relationship marketplace value. You're working on the things that really matter. How do you communicate with your partner? How do you build yourselves up? How do you know them ways there? Like the dynamics
I hear
shifts
you.
for me.
I guess what I'm saying is
Yeah.
that actually functioning in a relationship actually requires you to have to deconstruct a lot of the sexual marketplace value conversation.
Okay.
Right? So because it's not useful in a relationship. It's useful in dating.
Yeah.
If like, it's useful to say I went on a date and pop off on social media with your dating stories.
Yeah.
It's useful for Love Island and that shit. It's useful
When
for
you're
those
in a
things.
relationship,
But
don't have this type of
don't
conversation.
you find
Right.
that sometimes, though, you're in a relationship and your value goes up?
Yeah, obviously, it should go up.
The girl might run you down.
No, but your value,
You're not included.
your value,
Your
because
your value should go up.
Because I see certain women where when they see you with that woman now, it's like attack.
But man, them say like that too, bro. You know how much time I've seen a man. I don't care about your man, fam. I don't care if
There
you're
is,
a
there is
man.
actually in evolutionary psychology as well. There's actually a term for it. It's called mate copying. So when a woman sees you, when another woman sees you with a woman, she now looks at you as more attractive because that woman deemed you as attractive enough to be with her.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a woman would now want you more because you are verified
Must be
in
doing
her eyes.
something right.
You're doing something good, and that's why you get more women.
So
And that's a little trick for the man them on road, yeah. For the youths on
If
road,
you want a
yeah.
woman, get a woman.
If you, if you're, let me teach the youth something, yeah. Bad man thing, yeah. Make sure, yeah, you have women as friends. Don't try to get
100%, 100%.
Don't try to get into their knickers, yeah.
100%.
Just keep them as friends. And you know what you do?
100%.
You go in the dating environments, right? You have a baddie on your arm, yeah. Make sure she's a baddie. Don't have a butters brethren, yeah. Try to have good-looking brethren, yeah. Go into the club, go into the bars, yeah. And I guarantee you, yeah, other women are going to be checking you, and you'll be able to get those other women as well.
On another level.
Pro
Go,
tip.
sorry, I spoke a lot.
SP tip. Experience.
So
I ain't gonna lie, experience.
So just
I have experienced it, but from a different perspective.
So-
technical term for that as well. It's called sneaky fuckers.
Real sneaky.
oh, bear discipline.
Real
Bear discipline.
If I let you know, you see, back in the day, I tell you,
But could that friendship turn into a relationship though?
you can. But the thing is, yeah, try to not allow it to turn into a relationship.
It's a skill. Like every female friend, you can't
I tell you what I
jump
used to
in
do.
her
I
panty.
tell you what I used to do. I used to host what's it called?
Some of them chuck.
Let me put you on game.
No comment, man. We are new. No comment. No comment for them things there. No comment. Yeah. No confessions, man.
I used to host, yeah. I used to host fashion shows, yeah. So I have like all the models.
Oh, you're a hoe.
Yeah.
Alright, listen.
No. This is game though. This is game. This ain't going off track. Right? This ain't going off track.
Give your story, and then we'll
This
go.
ain't going off track, right? All of the hot model girls, yeah. I'll be able to walk into the back of when they're getting changed, yeah, naked, yeah. Nobody's looking at me. No, I'm not even looking at them. That's the wickedest thing. Because they know I'm their brethren. But if I walk out, yeah, now with 5 girls, yeah, on my arm, yeah, in the vicinity, how many girls want to check you afterwards? pro tip.
I get that. I get
Telling
that.
you.
All right, so
Have girls as friends.
let me add this. Owen family.
From like them same videos where you see them
But anyway,
acting like it's
no.
Yeah.
Children, do not listen to this guy at home.
Listen.
Pro
All
tip:
right,
have girls as friends.
there we go.
Do not
Don't
let
try
this
to
kid-
exploit
So
them.
we're gonna
Now-
round up.
now
Hold
we're
on,
gonna see people with
because
fashion
solutions were given, right? On family, the solutions were given, yeah. So we were talking about the dynamics between black men and black women, and if the manosphere is beneficial. And what you're saying is, what you highlighted was, you as a person, you like direct truth, hard truth, because it motivates you, right?
Yes, as a man,
And I think Shaka was saying that there's different types of men, different types of women. So we're saying overall, it might be beneficial to the same way how you like people to be very blunt and honest with you, to not be that way towards women,
Yeah.
and develop a more simple, kind, way of
I
delivering
don't know if I
information.
agree with that, you know. I don't know if I
A
agree with
gracious
that.
way of delivering.
I don't know what you're so far I can't hear you, bro. Right? But what I'm saying is, because we want the women to watch, because ultimately we want black people to come down here. But
Can I ask a question?
if they see us jump around, joke around, they won't feel like they're welcome and stuff, right? So we just want to get that going. But
patronising in me, man.
yeah,
Can I ask a question? That's the word I was going to use. Don't you think that some women will feel patronised by that? The idea that they can't take hard truths, the idea that they have to be buttered up and massaged and all them things, they're just to be.
here's what it is, yeah. But here's what it is. The brothers identified that. That's how he really likes to operate, right? And I'm more like that, right? But I recognize there are men friends and women friends who don't want it to be like a direct, truthful conflict, right? It's like, if a man's in a wheelchair, you can go, you're in a wheelchair, but he's never gonna be out of the wheelchair, right? So it might not be constructive to keep shouting and just go, all right, brother, we've got a ramp for you, whatever, right? So what I'm saying is,
100.
it's looking at the consensus of what works best for a collective. If more women were like that, we should. Now, don't get me wrong. There's going to be it's like, for example,
there'll be the odd ones that you can speak about.
for example, you know when we did Speaker's Corner, right? Bear Man came down and were hostile, right? And they had their own aggressive technique that we all love, yeah. But when it came to women, there might have been one or two like that. One or two. Maybe, I'm going to say one. I won't say their names. There's one. One. Yeah. Now the thing is, when I talk to women, they're telling me we want to come down. Why are you saying that? What's wrong, bro? It's mad. Boot that.
You want the problems, right?
You click, man, Mr. Click, yeah.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? You want the problems.
What I'm saying is, so we know we know that it's possible for women to like that kind of man-on-man action techniques, whatever, right? But I'm saying that if the majority of women don't like that, or they're not accustomed to it, or they want something else, if we're trying to work in unison and we understand that team is more than one, then we should go off the consensus of what works best. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
No. I think there is that, but I just also think that there's an extent to which we are and should be capable of seeing women beyond the value of their pom-pom. Like, do you know what I'm saying? And I think that's a lot of the time what women are looking for. They're saying, well, look, like, yes, I have punani, and I don't know a woman that's not, fully invested in the goodness of her punani. Yeah, every woman will tell you that her punani is the good thing, and you know what I'm saying, that's all good, right?
And then you sample it.
Why? That's another subject for another time.
Let's stay on track.
Let's stay on track.
We must be focused, brothers.
This is why
We must be focused. We must be focused, brothers. All right.
Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I'm saying so we know that as we all are as sexual beings, we are invested in the goodness of what we bring to the table in that dimension. Yeah. But I think on a relationship level, especially when it comes to things like children, especially when it comes to things like compatibility, especially when it comes to things like skills, character, and them kind of things. There are so many conversations that we're not having because they're not included in sexual marketplace, right? You know what I'm saying?
I think, what you're basically saying, I might be wrong, but we should actually reframe the conversation.
Yes.
Let's start talking about legacy value, for example, or a holistic value of sexual marketplace plus relationship market value as a whole.
Yes.
Yeah? Because I'm down for that.
Yes.
I like that type of.
I agree. Because I feel like sexual value, and I'm not necessarily comfortable with the term market. Not that I disagree with markets, but I understand what it means within this construct. I'm a bit, but I think that there is relationships include sex, and there's a value for sex in relationships. I just think that we need to include the value for sex in the context of the relationship rather than a thing in and of itself. Because again, a lot of these things, in my humble estimation, they're very targeted towards the dating market, which is the process of going out, getting to know. So we're obsessed. surprised that people in their 30s and 40s that are still having conversations about who should pay on the first date and everything there. You know, like in my experience with Oman, these are not things that have been sticking points for me. I've been on all kinds of dates for all kinds of different reasons, and sometimes they weren't even dates until I was on them and realized, say, yeah, there's a vibes here, right? Just what I'm saying, like in the real world, but because we're obsessed with the experience of dating, then all of these things that don't really matter when you get into a relationship become sticking points and hindrances. And you know what I'm saying, for judging men and women, when in the long run they don't really matter.
Yeah, because I would say, like, once you're in a relationship, for me, like, these type of things, it doesn't even come into the
it's not
picture
important
as well.
It's not
because it doesn't come into the picture.
Right. So from the last 2 week show where we were talking about hitting the wall and this kind of stuff, we're saying that as true as it might be that if a person wants to find someone, there's amount of years they need to go for, how we deliver that, especially as public speakers, we need to really watch, because it can be interpreted in a way that isn't beneficial to our collective.
I'm going to say this. If you're a man who's 50 and got 5 pitney, you don't need to be looking for no 32-year-old to have no more children. It's not a necessity. Yeah, you've done your bit for humanity, my G. You know what I'm saying? I feel like nothing needs to be said, my G. It's not necessary. Like, why are men in their 70s looking to still have pitney just so they could justify being with a 25-year-old? Bumbuckler. Yeah? It's not pitney them looking. No, I'm saying no. Look, go find a nice 40-odd-year-old woman and build something. Yeah, like you've gone past the age of you know, like when you're you know that. Yeah, you ever seen couples that their children are grown? Yeah, and they've got their house back. Yeah, and the kind of conversation that they're having now, because they're able to do certain things with their resources, with their life, and them kind of things there. You know what I'm saying? There are more things that you can do than be breeding a woman. Like, my value as a man is not tied to my ejaculation, bro. Yeah? Like, an ejaculation is good. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. I have the children to prove it. Yeah? No. Let's be real. Yeah? But why is it that at 70 years old, as a man, I must be preoccupied with ejaculating in a woman?
But then if they say that the 70-year-old is the new 60, and he's got the fitness and the wealth to deal with it.
I'm not even saying that nobody at them ages there should. What I'm saying is the idea that we're creating a social construct in which men are constantly pursuing having children at whatever stage of life is not functional to me, Maggie.
So then would you say someone young that has nothing is contributing? And he's got 5 children.
I don't understand what you mean, sorry.
So let's say about 28, the 28-year-old.
Yeah.
Same scenario.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What would you compare them two together?
No, I think it's a different thing. I think if a man's 28 and got 5 pitney, I think that, you know, it's probably not being as disciplined as he should be with the team, right? Yeah. And so there's probably other issues that we need to work out there in terms of stability, in terms of discipline. You know what I'm saying? You know, in terms of, you know, relationship and them kind of things there. I think it's different. All I'm saying is that when we talk about men appreciating their value and we're tying that to the capacity of men to have children, I think it's not a functional thing in the long run, right? That's what I'm saying. I think elders should be concerned with elders' matters within a community, right? Just what I'm saying. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah, I know
what
you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
But we need to talk about women coming down and giving their opinion onto this situation.
You took the words out of my mouth. So basically, naturally, when men come together, we're going to do the manly thing and jump around and be boisterous, all this good stuff, right? But we need the balance of women energy, feminine energy. And I know I've been requested that until we have to sort out how we communicate before they feel welcome. So we're in that process. But please feel free to come down. There was a few sisters that wanted to speak, but they've gone now. But we definitely, when we say certain things, we might be going into territory that was unfamiliar with us. We might need the sisters to help us and educate us on those particular things. And also let us know when we're going off course as well.
Titans ain't filming this week. I don't know why are you not filming this week?
This is not Titans, sorry.
I'm playing.
So take care, guys, yeah?
Yes, kid.
Get home family, get home safe.
Oh yeah, I ain't seen it for years.
Right. So
he's come out here for a long time, isn't it? Yeah.
So are we good then? So are we good?
Yeah.
So is that 2 topics done? Is there anything else?
We'll conversation.
Wait. COE, baby.
COE, man. COE is bad.
Don't listen to ITV.
Yeah.
Our corner.
COE.
Big up COE. All right.
Back again.
All right, cool. We're good.
Back to the